What is going on, Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star Rail guide, and we do have the new structural rules Pure Fiction. So today I'm here with the best characters to use for it. Just like the other ones, this one is going to be extremely fast paced, so do be sure to buckle in and pay attention because I will be going through characters very quickly. That's all I want to say before I get into the video. Drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for future videos like this, and let's just get straight into it. So first, taking a look at the buffs overall, I will say now, do note this is for stage 4, this is stage 1 because I am on an alt account to show you these buffs early. And also by the time you're seeing this, it's already out on Asia and EU servers, and on NA it just released as this video did go up. But again, this is for stage 4. The primary weaknesses on stage 4 for the first half is actually imaginary and physical, while the second half is actually the same as stage 1 here, being quantum and ice. But yes, as we do take a look at the main Surge and Grit right here, upon entering Surge and Grit, advances all allies' actions by 100% and increases damage received by enemy targets during this period by 50%. Additionally, after an ally uses their skill to attack an enemy target, deals an additional set amount of damage to all attacked enemy targets and adjusted targets. And then the skill attack, after allies use skill to attack enemy targets, every enemy target hit additionally accumulates 5 grit value for all allies. So, relative skill based actual one. And then if you take a look at the buffs you can use on each half, the first one is ultimate based. After allies use ultimate to attack enemy targets, for every enemy target hit additionally accumulates 3 grip value for all allies. Middle one is for HP drainers, being the each time ally targets receive an attack or lose HP, allies will additionally accumulate 3 grip value. And the last one is going to be break related. After ally targets attack enemies, every enemy target that becomes weakness broken additionally accumulates 3 grip value for allies. So the only character I want to really mention that is good on both halves is going to be Jade, just because she is usually situationally good, but she has teams where she can be just really good on both halves, and is usually always one of, if not the best picks you can do in Pure Fiction. With Jade actually being able to buff your main DPS, you give the Debt Collector 2, giving them 30 speed and allowing you to do some speed shenanigans. On top of that, having an AoE ult, a AoE follow-up attack that actually gets enhanced by the ultimate. The follow-up attack does good damage, and then the ultimate, when it enhances the follow-up attack, does really good damage. Very easily being able to help you kill enemies on the side and do good damage to the boss as well. On top of that, accumulating pawn asset stacks as the actual Pure Fiction battle goes on. More you do get for those pawn asset stacks, you get crit damage increase stack up to 50 times, so you can get a really big increase to crit damage by the end of the actual waves. And the longer it goes on, the more Jade can actually accumulate. And on top of that, she can also get attack percent off that too, which is why it's so good, and she just gets stronger as the battle goes on until you do cap it at 50. So giving your main DPS speed for speed shenanigans, doing really good damage that is purely AoE as well, and getting stronger as the battle goes on is why Jade is just good on both halves depending on the team you're on. But the first half, as they do have primary weakness to imaginary, Rappa has been really good in Pure Fiction regardless. And now since they have primary actual imaginary weakness, it's going to be even better because now she can shred through even faster and get your super break procs even easier. Going into ultimate, entering the actual seal form state, getting a turn, break effect increase, and also having the enhanced basic attack where you're able to blast, and the last hit finally being a pure AoE. You're able to very commonly break enemies on the side, killing them, and once you get the big hit, very easily shredding their bars, especially when you pair Rappa with someone like Fugue, which is really common. Being able to weakness break the enemies on the side, do a bunch of toughness damage to them, and do a lot of damage easily killing them and hitting people very often is why Rappa is really good. Yulni is also a fantastic option as she is a counter-based unit, and in this Pure Fiction, enemies do attack you pretty often, especially now that they do have a lot more speed than they used to. So them actually being able to attack Yulni a lot more lets her actually get more talent follow-up attacks with the actual counter to go off a lot. More times getting attacked lets you get ultimate faster, and once you do get the ultimate, time it, get the into a cull, and have this really strong counter attack that when you are actually in the Surge and Grit can practically just annihilate the enemies on the side. And even if you don't have the ultimate, with enemies attacking a lot, getting the regular counters, having that up to build to a actual counter attack from the ultimate. When you are enhancing it, you get hit, proc into a cull. If you mess up and get slashed, you can get into a cull guaranteed the next time. And also being a character that does spam skill relatively often, which is also blast, so it's not just a single target hit. As she does want to get energy back, does help and actually does add up for more grit, which is why Yulni is a fantastic option for the first half. Argenti is a fantastic option whether a partner or not, as he is practically a FGO looper with his ultimate. You get this weaker version and you're able to just constantly loop it and hit all 5 enemies constantly over and over again. And if you do get the 180 version, then you just do a lot more damage. Unfortunately, you will get significantly less refund, but the main playstyle is going to be looping the actual 90 energy version of the ultimate. You're also able to get his crit rate stack up to 10 times very fast in this mode. And Argenti does also love spamming skill to get energy back, and his skill both of his ultimates are also both AoE as well. So everything being AoE is going to be perfect for this actual Purification, especially since it's skill based as well. So him being able to spam skill and also do his main looping with the ultimate at the same time is why he is a great option as a hyper carry or not. For the second half just gets absolutely decimated by the Herta. Ice weakness also being skill based, you know, it's really easy to see, and especially because the main boss is Flame Reaper, which the Herta already destroys in MLC and such. Having the blast regular skill, you can use that whenever you do want to get energy. Once you get the ultimate, you get the AoE Hear Me Out, which is the big skill that does millions of damage, hits everyone on the field, and is, like usual, a skill, which is the main buff of this. So you have the blast skill if you don't have the ultimate enhancing it, so it's still going to be hitting multiple enemies. Once you do have the ultimate itself does really good damage, and once you get the Hear Me Out, it does so much damage that it'll be able to wipe the Flame Reaper stuff, and then if you're in the earlier waves, wipe enemies on the field. And so the Herta is practically the best option on that second side. As a partner / proxy, I do want to mention the regular 4-star Herta. Usually you'll now be using her as a pairing for the Herta because, you know, alone she's still usable but not as good as a partner anymore. But with a scale being purely AoE, the ultimate being purely AoE, and also the follow-up tech being purely AoE is really good. Her damage output is very solid as well, especially on the supports we do have nowadays, which do buff your main DPS, buff your sub-DPS, with sub-DPS really getting good buffs too. On top of that, Herta being a free E5, and if you just pull one, you get a free E6, you get access to all these dupe buffs as well. So being very good in Purification thanks to being purely AoE with good damage output, also being very accessible to free-to-play. Being good as a hyper carry, but even better as a partner for the Herta, makes the 4-star Herta a great option. Another fantastic option is actually going to be Castorice, as you do also spam skill with Castorice a lot, and then when you do have the Netherwing out, the actual skill becomes purely AoE. The Netherwing attack also being able to accumulate grit because it is also, you know, AoE, so it accumulates it relatively fast as well. On top of that, her being an HP drain related character, which is practically the only good Purification HP drain related character. Really good damage output, very AoE centric kit. HP drain to make use of that buff you can get on the team is why she is a fantastic option as well. And I'm also going to mention the big 3 of lightning DPSs right now, just because Flame Reaper is very prone to getting destroyed by these lightning characters. Acheron has a purely AoE ultimate, which makes her really good at clearing the Flame Reaper stuff and also just killing every enemy on the side very easily because it also hits super hard. Aglia will have a bit of a harder time as she does have a blast enhanced basic attack and not really skill related, but she still definitely is able to destroy Flame Reaper relatively easily, especially with the high frequency of attack output she does get is why her damage adds up by a lot. But with Jingwan, I'm going to mention you only want to use Jingwan with Sunday. If you're not using Sunday with Jingwan, do not use Jingwan. But Jingwan with Sunday, you're going to be spamming skill to accumulate energy and also Lightning Lord hits per action. The ultimate is also purely AoE, and then the talent Lightning Lord attack is also AoE bounce, which is going to be able to shred through bars and is very strong thanks to the fact that Sunday can actually advance it, which is why Jingwan also does do really good, mainly these 3 being lightning DPSs and being the big 3 of them, and Flame Reaper being very prone to lightning damage is why I actually did want to mention these 3. Acheron has usually the easiest time, at least in Purification version of Flame Reaper, just because her ultimate purely AoE is good, also having the blast skill, which you do spam. Aglia probably has one of the hardest times, but still does good, just because she isn't able to make use of, you know, the skill buffs. Her skill also doesn't hit, but she mainly does enhance basic attacks, but still just has such high attack frequency and good damage output, while Jingwan is AoE on all fronts, and also does spam skill to do damage, helping you accumulate grit very easily, which is why all 3 of them are good. Now for some debuffers, I'm just going to mention 2 that are really good. Usually you pair these with Acheron, but they also do work as a good general slaughter option. The first one obviously being Jiaoqiu, with general vulnerability he does have on Ash and Roast enemies. And if you are pairing him with Acheron, the ultimate damage vulnerability that he does have in his zone is very good. Also pairs fantastic with Yunli as well, as Yunli's big ultimate counter attack does be considered as ultimate damage. But even without those 2, he is a fantastic general debuffer and slaughter, and when you do ultimate damage with anyone, that will be further amplified. Thanks to the way his ultimate zone does work, applying Ash and Roast on enemies when they do enter the field, it actually pairs very well with this talent's general vulnerability. And it's not like someone else where you do have to spam the ultimate on an enemy to hit them to make sure it's on them, so when you cycle through enemies, it doesn't actually apply to them, and you'll have to recast the ultimate and such, is why Jiaoqiu is a really good option. Even though you do have to reapply the ultimate on the enemies on the side, Pela is still good for her 40% defense lower, especially since it's super easy to get this ultimate with its very low charge. And with the main enemy staying on the field, and once you do kill that main enemy, you go to the next wave, you're actually able to keep this debuff on them and practically just have a permanent 40% defense lower on that enemy. So when you're hitting them with any forms of damage, you'll have that defense lower, which is why Pela is also a great option. Now for Harmony support / enablers, no shocker, Tribi is going to be one of, if not the best options, as she can practically be slotted into any good team, and with her skill giving all type res pen, which everyone benefits from, additional quantum damage dealt to enemies in her zone with the ultimate, which will just make you do more damage overall, making enemies take 30% more damage, which will benefit anyone as well. And also having an AoE follow-up attack is going to be super good, as now she can also help you wiggle down enemies. And she probably has the most commonly owned E1 in the game, which gives you access to true damage, which will very much amplify the damage you do with your main DPS, and also your sub DPS if you do have one on the team, which is why Tribi is one of, if not the best options you can use as a Harmony support. Robin is another fantastic option. Even without follow-up attack characters, she goes on a lot of teams. The skill giving a massive 50% damage dealt increase, the ultimate giving a big attack percent increase, and also giving everyone another turn to act, and also giving access to additional physical damage, which can also help you wiggle down enemies even faster, giving everyone free crit damage as well. And if you do pair with a follow-up team, which she does work best on, but she still works elsewhere, the follow-up crit damage dealt to enemies will actually be increased by 25% as well. So all these buffs are super good in Pure Fiction, which is why she is one of the other best. Sunday is also super fantastic with anyone that actually benefits from his buffs, which is practically like 90% of the game, with the ability of giving someone a free turn and also increasing their damage dealt, which further gets amplified if they do have a summon. On top of that is ultimate increasing crit damage based off his own, and also being able to restore 20% of the max energy of that one ally you do buff, and also giving them 20% crit rate, which is super big, and also having a cleanse just in case you do get CC'd, which will be pretty often depending on what you do. And it being very easy to keep uptime on his ultimate is why Sunday is just a fantastic buffer if you are buffing a hyper carry. Ruan Mei is also fantastic, having a damage dealt increase by the skill, which also increases by one of her bonus traces if you have 180% or higher break effect. Also giving everyone 50% weakness break efficiency, so often you'll pair Ruan Mei with someone like Rappa especially. But any team you do put her on will have 50% weakness break efficiency, allowing them to break a lot easier. And then in her ultimate, giving everyone all type res pen and also being able to re-break enemies is super good. Also giving everyone 10% speed, which can help you hit even more breakpoints, and also do some funny setups or just give you some free speed to get more turns, is why Ruan Mei is also fantastic. RMC is also great, being one of the only other sources besides Tribi E1 giving you access to true damage with the actual Mem support. On top of that, also being able to give everyone crit damage based on Mem's own crit damage, and also having some decent sub DPS potential. And then the also extra turn that you can give the person you do choose the buff is very good. On top of that, also bring a free E6, so you have access to all these free buffs right here as well, which is why RMC is another great option. Going to group these two together because they're both super break enablers, but Harmony Trailblazer and Fugue are both great. Both of them do something a little bit different, but both of them are still just these super break enablers. Harmony Trailblazer are able to give you a bigger damage dealt with the actual higher instance conversion of super break, also being able to increase the break effect with the ultimate. Very easy to use and set up as well. Also with anyone you do break that does stay alive, you can make them delayed even longer than they normally would, so that could be good if you want to take less damage, or even try a sustainless run at that. And just like RMC, free access to all 6 dupes, so all these buffs will be accessible as well. Harmony Trailblazer is a fantastic option. Fugue is just as good as well, giving the Foxian buff, increasing break effect for that ally. On top of that, also having access to defense shred, which is really good for break characters. Ultimate can also help you break enemies on the side and just do damage to them overall, also giving you the options to actually get 2 different weakness breaks, because you can break the enemy, they get inflicted with Cloud Flame Luster, and then you can actually break them again. And then her talent also having the instance of super break conversion. So both of these characters on a super break team are very good. Versus Saiyans, no shocker, Aventurine is still one of the best depending on the team you are using him on. The only teams you really don't want to use him on is a break team or a HP draining team. Otherwise, he will work on everywhere else, having a practically unbreakable shield. Also having fantastic sub DPS potential and being able to make an enemy take 15% increased crit damage with the debuff his ultimate does have. So just proccing that on maybe the main boss of the actual wave and every time you do hit them, you'll do 50% increased crit damage is very nice. On top of that, having the follow-up attack, which can also refresh a bit of the shield, is really good. And also, again, having that sub-DPS potential is good to help you wiggle down enemies faster, which is why he is one of the best options. Feixiao is also fantastic, with her skill also being very much AoE. Her ultimate also being AoE, and the talent for you on attack being AoE, having very good healing output. And if you are pairing her with a break DPS, she does inflict the fog in her ultimate, making enemies take 25% increased break damage. So if you do break, they'll do that much more damage. And also having an AoE cleanse is super helpful. On top of that, on super break, Feixiao actually does really good damage as well, so that's a additive bonus, which is why she's really good. Gallagher is also fantastic, being able to actually have lower sided healing until you do have the offensive healing up. So attacking enemies to heal is really good, especially for break characters. And on top of that, he also has a debuff that makes enemies take more break damage with the besotted state. And then just like Feixiao, once you do have the enhanced basic attack, you are actually able to do good super break damage once you do proc it. So that can help you wiggle down enemies faster, which is why he is really good. Just know you will want his E2 to have a cleanse, otherwise it might be a little bad. And Feixiao is also fantastic, with her also having a cleanse, really good healing. And on top of that, being able to be a budget harmony character, giving everyone 20% of their respective max energy and increasing everyone's attack by 40%, which is just such a fantastic actual buff to get from an ultimate, especially with someone that's mainly sustaining your team. On top of that, everyone on our team, when they do use an ultimate, are able to heal everyone else, which is going to be good. So that can be a good panic heal as well, which is why she is also fantastic. Now for where to actually take what buffs. If you're using anyone that does their main damage and their main hits on the ultimate, you're going to take the first one. If you're running any form of HP drain, or you're maybe taking someone like Yunli where you're constantly going to be getting hit to do damage, then the second one is going to be the best. And if you're running any forms of break or practically anything else, as a lot of other sources can actually have you break enemies, because enemies in Pure Fiction will have significantly lower toughness bars, especially the ones on the side, you would actually go ahead and take the third one. And yep, that is the video. I know, again, very fast paced, but I did mention that at the beginning of the video. Be sure to comment down below for what teams you are using with what buff to give other people even more ideas. Hope you guys found the video helpful. Peace out.